Hi, gorgeous, and welcome to the Confident, Energized, and Sexy Mama Show. I am Dorit Palvanov, your host, feminine energy expert, health coach for women, registered holistic nutritionist, and the creator of the groundbreaking health and mindset program for moms, Energized, designed for perimenopausal women who are done having kids and are ready to get their confidence, energy, and sexy back. Ladies, think about it. What would the world look like if, as women, we stopped being so harsh on ourselves and instead felt more energized, powerful, confident, and more connected to our bodies? What if, as women, we honored the fact that we are built and wired differently than men, and being different does not mean being inferior? That the go, go, go mentality, alongside doing more to have more without ever pausing and resting, only leads to chronic stress, anxiety, burnout, overwhelm, lack of joy, and corrodes our health, relationships, and vitality. What if, as women, wives, and mothers, we had the courage and confidence to desire more? More freedom, power, energy, joy, abundance, pleasure, fun, play, and sex, all on our own terms. Mama, you deserve to feel good. You deserve to form healthy relationships, and your body needs, craves, and deserves pleasure. This is your birthright. You're here because you believe in your feminine energy. You're here because you care about health and the environment, and you're not afraid to take action and change. You're here because you don't want to pass on a pattern of self destruction, hiding, and not speaking your truth to your daughters. You're here because you're done feeling stuck, living a mediocre life as a half woman. You're here because you are done struggling and frankly can no longer afford to feel like crap. Each week, I will be here for you, dropping a healthy dose of inspiration and motivation, as well as introducing you to my brilliant guests, where we will dive deep into all things womanhood, feminine power, energy, psychology, holistic and alternative health, food, nutrition, hormones, fitness, mindset, motherhood, relationships, sex, business, and much more. So, Mama, are you ready to take back control of your health? Let's do this. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Confident, Energized, and Sexy Mama podcast. This is Dorit Palvanov, your host. Today is Wednesday, August 26th, and it's my mom's birthday. And I decided to take my mom to a very unique experience. So if you've been kind of following my health journey, my healing journey, you've heard me talk about my parents' history and their PTSD and the traumas that both my parents have endured when they were young children, and then when we moved, when they were, I guess, forced really to flee to as refugees to Israel, and and then surviving through that, it was a very, very challenging time for them. And so one of the things I struggled with a lot, and you're listening to the show because we want, as women, as wives, and as mothers, we want to be the best version of ourselves. We want to live up to our potential as women. And if you're like me, somewhere you just feel stuck. So my stagnation was manifesting. In the beginning, it manifested in my parenting, in my motherhood journey, in the way I was just, I've had so much rage and so much anger bubbling up, especially with my second daughter when she was born. So I felt really, really stuck there. So I had to really dive deeper into myself. That's when I got introduced to the work of Dr. Shefali Tsabari. And I even went, in 2018, I went to her live event, Evolve, which was amazing. So I really had to go through the process of learning how to parent myself, how to parent the little girl inside of me so that I could bring that and so that I could support my children. So that was step number one. And then the next phase for me, the stagnation, was in showing up as a business owner. Oh, and that's a big one. Because, business growth is personal growth. And personal growth is business growth, right? It goes both ways. And there were so many onion layers that I had to peel away in order to really step into entrepreneurship. And I'm not saying that I'm done. It's an ongoing, evolving process for me. But that was like the next area in my life where I felt stagnant, and I felt like I was just not moving. And then it also manifests in, my relationship, in my marriage. And so slowly I've learned that in order for me to show up the way I want to, I have to look at the root. And the root is me. And the root is my relationship with myself. And it really gave me an opportunity to just see myself and live an embodied life, as opposed to a life that is from the head up, where it's really all about, the mind and decisions and, logic and living rationally. But now living with my body. It's living with, paying attention to my intuition. It's understanding how my digestion works and why is my body struggling to digest food and break food down. Why is my body holding on to the weight? Why is my menstrual cycle so messy? Why do I have so many blood clots in my menstrual cycle? Why is my skin manifesting acne? Why is my hair falling out? Why is my skin so dry all of a sudden? So all of those things, I had to look at them. Because I felt like when it comes to energy and confidence and passion, it is impossible to do when you are not on good terms with yourself, right? It always comes back to you. And so today's episode is, I wanted to share about an experience I've had, and I'm doing this because you ladies asked me to talk about my experience at the Elemental studios that I've had today with my mom, where we've both had a floatation tank experience. And so what that is, I've heard about it, I think maybe 6 months ago. And I always was curious to try it. But I don't know, for some reason I just never got to it. And then today, I decided, it's a great opportunity. I usually take my mom somewhere to a special place. Pre-COVID, it was, something, going out or maybe eating something out, exploring. Maybe, we used to go to the mall, like we would do something fun. And now, because, a lot of the places are, excuse me, kind of like open with restrictions, we decided to try something different. So confidence, energy, passion, all of those things. It's really a never-ending story for me, where I, on a daily basis, I give myself permission to dive deeper into myself, so that I get to know myself for reals, and so that I can truly live the life of my dreams, the life that I was destined to live, and the life that feels really good for me. So the floatation tank, what is it? So that is, if you've ever been to the Dead Sea, it is infused with 1,000, I think, pounds of magnesium salt, so Epsom salt. And it is so infused that there's no way for you to drown. So you're basically floating the entire time. That's the whole purpose of it, right? So if you've been to the Dead Sea in Israel, that's basically how it feels. You cannot touch this, you cannot touch your eyes. You can't, because it's going to irritate your eyes very much. So the benefits of Epsom salt baths are, there are so many benefits. The things that I know are, so magnesium is really, really good for relaxing the muscles. It's also great for the digestive system. Most of us, like 99.9% of us, especially women, are deprived and depleted in magnesium, because magnesium is, I think it's involved in over 500 functions of the body. And it's a mineral that we lose. This is, by the way, one of the reasons why so many women begin craving chocolate in their luteal phase. And the luteal phase is the phase that comes right before menstruation. So magnesium is a very important mineral, which, if you worked with me and if you've heard me talk about that, this is the reason why when I teach my clients to eat in alignment with their cycle, there's a lot of foods that we eat during the luteal phase and the menstrual phase that is rich in magnesium. So foods like beets and foods like nuts, especially Brazil nuts, foods like red cabbage, and why am I blanking out? You can clearly see that my head is still kind of slow after this experience. Anyways, but you got the point. It's really matching foods that are high in magnesium with your cycle. And so I actually got my period just today, which is perfect timing. And so that's, magnesium is really good for the skin. It's really good for the muscles. It's really good for the digestive system. And they even sell, like you can find magnesium salt packs in a health food store. Epsom salt packs that you can put in a bathtub in your own home, and you can just sit in it and immerse in it for 20-25 minutes and just allow your skin to soak it up. I remember when I had, especially after giving birth, issues with hemorrhoids and constipation, I used to drink magnesium. And it was great for, relieving the muscle tension in the digestive tract and, letting that go. So magnesium is a very important mineral for human beings. And the way the flotation tank works is it's all about a sensory deprivation process. So you get inside, there's actually a door. It's a huge tank. It's a huge metal tank. And when you get inside, there are earplugs, and then I just was immersed in the water
and it's quiet. And it had never, I don't think I've ever experienced such peace before. You don't hear anything. Like there's literally no music at all. There's no sound. There is nothing to touch, because when you are in the flotation tank, you don't feel your body. Like it's because you're floating, you don't feel. So there's nothing, you can't touch anything. You can see because it's pitch dark. Obviously you don't taste anything, and it's just this experience where all of your five senses are turned off. And the reason they do that is because this is a great therapy to get you into the parasympathetic nervous system response, which is the antidote to fight, flight, and freeze mode. Right? So when the nervous system feels triggered, then you either fight, right? You become aggressive. You either flight, you either run away, flee, or you freeze. And so for me, freeze is the way how I was conditioned to react, and maybe even this is just my natural response. And it took me some time, to learn about how I react. Some women are, especially, women who are really like hustlers and ambitious, they would go into like fight mode where they become really aggressive and really angry and mad, and they become really competitive. And that's when, the masculine energy is really kind of like being amplified. I've worked with women with these kind of clients in the past as well. And that's, that's just their natural inclination. But it's important to know what is your nervous system, how does your nervous system respond in moments of stress. Flight, it's when you just hide and you disappear. You kind of like play small. You pretend like, things didn't happen. My mom's stress response is flight. She doesn't like conflict, and she just like, she just wants things to be calm and quiet and peaceful. And so I remember growing up, I felt that a lot of the issues that we've had at home were kind of like swept under the rug, because I think my mom's nervous system, and now I'm understanding that much better, but I think her nervous system and her emotional system, her emotional reaction to stress was because she just struggled with conflict, and she just didn't know how to process stress. And so there are different things. So these are, the nervous system's responses to stress. And the parasympathetic sympathetic response is when the body doesn't feel any danger. So it's when you feel complete safety, complete serenity, and you're just able to get into the state of flow and trust and serenity and surrender. And so that is what this flotation tank is designed for. It's helpful to blah, blah. I'm stammering. So first of all, because I just got my period today. So you can, you see how like it's so clear, and I'm specifically not going to cut this out because I want you to see how I am. And if next time you find yourself kind of like lost for words during menstruation, just know that it's normal, because what's happening is your left and right hemispheres are separating slightly, and it allows for a depth, a deeper ability to sit with emotions. So right now it's perfect for me to talk about deeper things. But when it comes to, my abilities to be logical and to use my verbal capacities, like that's a little compromised right now. So that's the reason it's happening. Anyways, where was I going with this? So yeah, so the flotation tank is designed for for allowing you to get into that space of safety, serenity, and surrender. And I think for me, I've meditated before, so I feel like because it was my first time, I've the closest experience I could think of was meditation, and the longest I've meditated in the past was 8 hours. So I felt like I could do this. I was a little skeptic with my mom because my mom just recently started meditating. I really was still, kind of like nervous about that, but at the same time, I was kind of like teaching myself to let go and trust the process and just allow myself to just have my own experience and allow my mom to have her own experience, whatever it is. And when I was in the water, in the tank, so in the beginning, it was pretty smooth. I felt like I could let go, I could relax. I did feel like my shoulders really were clenched up. And so I had to kind of like consciously let go and breathe through them. And the most amazing experience was that moment when all I could hear was my breath. And then later on, I was able to hear the beat of my heart. And that was so cool. So I was in this state for a little while, and the whole experience kind of felt like I was in my mother's womb. Like being in the water, not hearing anything, not being distracted. It was just such a magical experience. And then something happened. And then fear started creeping in. All of a sudden, I started being afraid that I won't be able to open the door. Or I was afraid that I'm going to drown. Or all of a sudden I started having fear that the water will get in my ears. Or because, you lose the sensation of your body, I felt I'm dead. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think this is how death feels like when you don't feel anything and you're just left with yourself and your thoughts and your soul, and that's it. So all of a sudden this kind of fear started creeping up, and in the beginning I was kind of like strong and I was able to like overpower that. And then all of a sudden I started like feeling really, really hot, and to the point where I felt like I'm suffocating. And then I just like I had to stand up. So I stood up for a little bit, and I was kind of like, oh, and by the way, you don't have any sense of time when you're in that thing. It's just surreal, this experience. So I was just sitting a little bit, and then all of a sudden I felt this strange feeling or strange urge to sing. And so I started singing, and sound, by the way, is amazing there because it's, it's just you and you. So I started singing and like started saying prayers, hugging myself and just reassuring myself. And then I just felt like it's safe to do this again. Like it's safe to go to continue floating again. And the second time I started floating, that's when I was able to get into that state that they advertise, and that's the in between deep sleep, but also awareness. So it's almost, that's the area where you have access to your subconscious mind. So it's a really, really cool moment. And I was able to experience that. What was interesting is that I didn't have any thoughts. It's interesting, when your senses are all shut off, you are less distracted, and hence your brain, your mind is less active. At least it was for me. Like I didn't even think about my husband. I didn't think about my kids. Like I didn't even think about work. I was just being. I was just me. And that's scary, right? Because so many of us, we don't really know ourselves. We don't really know who we are and what we're meant to do here. What is our purpose? How is it that we want to live? Authenticity is a big issue for women, and that's one of the reasons why so many women struggle with confidence. Because confidence is, I mean, you can fake it, but there's going to be a limit to it. But being confident authentically, I think that's where the magic unfolds. So then at the end, I started having this strong intuitive feeling that the music is going to come on. Now, because they told me that when they're going to turn the music on, that's a sign that it's time for me, that the session has ended. And when they played the music and I felt it, I was a little kind of like pissed, because I really was so deep into it and I didn't want it to end. But that was basically my experience. And so I was, you come out, you shower, you have to wash all the salt off of you. And the state you enter after that is just this like very mellow, relaxed, kind of just confused state, because you've just spent so much time in your parasympathetic nervous system. And that is basically how you train your body and you train your nervous system to feel more safe as opposed to feel in danger. Because that, feeling danger, and I know that it is the case for me, it's a loop. It's just, I guess, my nervous system is imprinted for that, for whatever reason, for the way I grew up, for what I have experienced, for my fears, for my own, maybe, biological makeup. That's just how my body responds to stress. And so it's really about teaching my body how to feel safe and how to feel calm. And when you are calm and safe, then you can do things that are necessary to do to move your life forward, whether it is to take action in your business, or whether it is to have that uncomfortable conversation with your partner, with your husband, or with your mom, or your siblings, your dad, whoever it is, or a coworker, or an employer, or an employee. It doesn't matter, right? But all those things, they require confidence and require courage. And so that is how it's done, ladies. This is how it's done. It is not sexy. It is not easy. It's not like 3 steps to gain your confidence. It's, at the end of the day, it is work, and it's dedication, and it's intentionality, and it's just really being committed to the process. What else do I want to say about that? When I came out, I was really eager to hear how my mom's experience was. So they have upstairs, they have a little like really nice and cozy lounge area. So I was waiting for my mom there. And when she entered, I immediately said, how was it? And she was like, it was amazing. And I was so surprised. I was really, really surprised because I honestly thought that she will struggle. I thought she would fidget and she would just like go in and out, and because it is challenging. It is not easy to sit with yourself for such a long period of time. And I remember, halfway through, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done this for 60 minutes. I should have done it for 30 minutes. Just, because I was kind of like, I was noticing how I take my mom's power away by having these thoughts, right? So it's almost like I don't believe that she's capable of doing quote unquote hard things or challenging things. And it's such BS. And I really do want to empower her more as opposed to, kind of like babysit her. Which I was doing a lot when I was younger. And I was surprised that my mom she just loved it so much. She was in complete, serenity. She was learning. She is learning how to surrender and how to let go and how to just be with herself. And it's really important because I believe that as women, we have that power over our families. When the woman of the home is strong and empowered, everybody else wins, right? So I know my dad needs help, and I know my little sister needs help too. And I cannot do that work because I am out of their home. But my mom can. My mom can impact them, whether it is with how she says and how she carries herself, or even with the way she, serves the food and with the way she gives them advice. The energy that we carry is so important. It's so valuable. And when we own that, that's when we can really change our families. Like it's really, really that deep. And so I'm going to leave you with that. I wanted to share my experience, and I wanted to let you know that it is possible to retrain your nervous system, to change the trajectory of, whatever trauma, whatever fear response, or whatever fight, flight, freeze, stagnation you have in your life. It is all possible, and that is how it's done. So if you are local to me, I highly encourage and recommend you to try Elemental Wellness Studio. If you need more information, find me over at Instagram. My handle is at Dorit Palvanov Coaching. I'm more than happy to share more details with you about this studio. But if you are a woman who is a wife, who is a mother, who is a business owner, and who is really struggling with this feeling of like stagnation and lack of energy, then I have such amazing news for you. I am working on releasing the first iteration of my one-on-one flagship course. It's my signature program. It's called Energized. And it is going to be the first time I will be teaching this in a group setting. So it's going to be 100% virtual. It's a 4-week program, so it's not, a ton of time to dedicate and invest into it. You're going to be getting recorded material, which is very minimal. I was very, very conscious about the fact that your life is full and you're busy and all of those things. I really do understand that myself. When I enroll in programs, like I always look at the time that is required of me to invest. And so I was very, very conscious of that. So the classes are very, very minimal, around 15 minutes each. There are 4 of them. And so you're going to get recorded material. And then on top of that, we are going to have 4 90 minutes live coaching sessions where it's really our space as women to come and share and heal together and also like practice this kind of work that I'm going to teach you. It's all about learning to use your menstrual cycle as your power tool. So you are going to learn about the 4 phases. You're going to learn about the energy, the energetics of your cycle. You're going to learn about how to align, how to live in alignment with your cycle, how to eat, how to move, how to connect with the world in alignment with your cycle. You're also going to learn how to organize your work week in alignment with your cycle. And then lastly, you are going to learn how to master your ovulation, because the power of your menstrual cycle is really, it's all about ovulation, right? That's the whole point of your menstrual cycle. So I'm going to teach you how to measure your ovulation, how to know when exactly you're ovulating, the 3 signs of fertility. This is really going to teach you how to take back control of your health and your energy. So these are the 4 modules. You're going to have, like I said, 4 90-minute sessions with me and the other ladies in the group. I am looking for my very first cohort of women who are ready to try this work and see if this is something you would like to incorporate into your life. And so I'm looking for 10 women. If you are interested in more details, please reach out to me. We are going to be starting, if you're listening in real time, we are going to be officially starting the last week of September of 2020. So September 22nd is our first live coaching session, but you will be getting the materials, the pre-recorded stuff way ahead of time. So you can start, learning on your own. But the sessions are going to be every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is really your chance to own up your energy. Now we're all slowly recovering from, COVID, and the schools are reopening. My kids are going back to school on September 8th. So we are slowly, it's been 6 months that my kids have been, and probably yours too, have been at home. And there is a recovery process that we have to go through, sending them off. And the nervous system has to also learn how to heal and how to recalibrate, because we've been through a lot. We have been through a lot. And one of the most powerful ways that I know to heal is in community, and sharing and listening to each other and supporting each other. And it's not about giving each other advice, but it's about just holding each other and witnessing each other and holding space for each other. That's how we heal. It's almost like, how when you're so loaded with, emotionally, and then you have a very powerful conversation with a good friend, how you feel really light and how you feel really like seen and heard after. That is the effect. That's how women heal. That's why all of us, we need each other so very much. So again, if this is something that you are curious about, please either send me an email. My email is dorit@doritpalvanov.com. Or you can also find me at Instagram. My handle is @Dorit Palvanov Coaching. You can also find me on Facebook. So if you're not yet a member of my group, it's called Confident, Energized, and Sexy Mamas Village. You can ask to join that group, and you connect with me through there as well. There are lots of ways to connect with me. No excuses. Own your energy. Own your life. This is really, really, really important. When you own yourself, when you are on good, healthy, connected terms with yourself, that's when you can really live up to your potential as a woman. You can do the sacred work that you have to do and you get to do at home, but also on a bigger scale with the work that you are choosing to do in the world, the work that you are destined to do in the world, whether it is through your skills, through your talents, through your education. This is really what it's all about. And energy is what we all need. So I hope you will join us in this first iteration. The price is highly, highly, highly reduced for this very first one. My second iteration, I'm going to be raising the prices. So right now the price is $299 US, and it's really very, like, I think I've never paid that money to be a part of a program, of a group program before. So this is a really, really highly subsidized price, and I do this because I want you to have an easy yes. But please note that the next iteration of this program, the price is going to be much higher. So yeah, just say yes to yourself, say yes to the process, and let's go. I want you in this program. All right. So I hope to hear from you soon. I hope you've gained some insight from this podcast today. If you feel called to try the floatation tank, definitely give it a try. And until next time, I'm sending you off with so much love, many, many blessings. Find me on Instagram. I want you in the program, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.
Wait, before you go, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you did, I want to know about it. So snap a picture of you listening to this episode and share it on Instagram or Facebook. On Instagram, you can tag me at Dorit Palvanov Coaching. So Dorit is spelled as Dorit, and Palvanov spelled as Palvanov Coaching. So it's all one word. Or you can use the hashtag Confident, Energized, and Sexy Mama Podcast. You see, my personal goal beyond having amazing conversations with guests or hosting solo episodes is to increase the visibility for this platform and these messages to be shared and heard by women who need it the most. And there's no way that I can do this on my own. So I'm asking you, the incredible community of confident, energized, and sexy mamas, to help me with this goal. So whether you're coming to me through iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you're listening to the show from, please rate, review, and subscribe to the show. This would mean the world to me, and it's so helpful for other mothers who are looking for this information. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.